Hi. Today was the first day where attendance seemed really low. In the earliest meetings this morning, there was low attendance. In committee, there was low attendance on both sides, not on either one side or the other. And I guess I was guilty of that. I made myself a doctor's appointment today. I've heard that there were politicians who had really bad attendance records, and I just started to notice some absences today. There's one member of my Human Services Committee that has not come yet. I would say today was such an interesting day. I would say you should always beware of a bill sponsor who says, look, all we're trying to do is. Chances are the words that follow that are not all that they're trying to do. We heard House Bill 363 today, which gives the Board of Realtors power that they have never had before, and immunity that they have never had before, and that was interesting. The real gem of the day today, though, was on the floor. There were 9 bills placed together on the floor session today from Business and Labor. That's not an accident. These bills could have been placed before, but they were grouped together, and I really think that that was intended to try to paint the Democrats as anti-business. But out of those 9 bills, we voted yes. One was passed on from hearing. So really, we only had 8 bills from Business and Labor. 5 of them we voted yes on, and 1 of them we amended and voted yes on. So that's 6 out of 8. That's 75%. And one of the bills was a straight up ALEC bill, and I'll show you the link to that in a second. And 2 of them, maybe questionably, were ALEC bills, but they were bad for business and didn't do what they said they were going to. So I think we came out with a pretty good record, and definitely are not the anti-business that they're trying to paint. In bringing a bill, the sponsor said, we brought the same exact bill last session and it had bipartisan support, and now it doesn't. And what's interesting about that is it's a lie. If you heard me talk the other day about the member of committee who was mean to the senior citizen, he was given a lot of guff today on the House floor about it. So if you were wondering what that was all about, his own party and the rest of us all kind of ganged up on him to tease him about his bad behavior. He still tried to be the only one voting no against this bingo bill, and I think the pressure got to him at the last second and he switched, so we passed this bingo bill out unanimously. A little bit of fun on the House floor, which was good because we had a pretty serious bill today. House Bill 280 is an ALEC bill that says that out-of-state insurers should be able to sell insurance in the state of Montana. I talked about it the other day. I've created a link to the place on the internet where you can see that this is an ALEC bill. It's bit.ly/ALEC in Montana, ALECINMT. If you type that into your browser, you'll go to a site called ALEC Exposed, and you'll be able to, from there, look and see what kinds of bills are being passed in other states and what kind of bills are trying to pass in Montana. If you compare what you see on that site with the wording, the exact wording of House Bill 280, I don't think you could argue that that's where this language comes from. And I was really disappointed that the first person who spoke on the bill didn't call it out, because I thought that he was going to, but we ended up having a point of order after the sponsor closed on the bill that did say, this is an ALEC bill. People are really afraid to talk about that, and I don't really understand why, but that's something that I'll learn more about. I really wanted to stand up today and say that, and I didn't, because I really trust people who have been here for a lot longer than me when they say that perhaps that's not the best idea, now's not the time to do it. I really, really hope, though, that these bad bills can get exposed, and I know everyone in Montana, Republican and Democrat, agree that we do not want some out-of-state interest group just writing our bills for us. No one in Montana wants that. So how did we elect people who are doing just that? It blows my mind. You can't vote on third reading unless you're present. So if you are excused, your seatmate can push buttons for you, or you can file your votes with the clerk. But on that's for second reading. On third reading, if there are only 93 members present, then only 93 members vote, and it just takes a majority. And today we saw for the first time bills pass the House with fewer than 50 votes. 2 different bills passed the House with only 49 votes. One of them was the resolution that I talked about yesterday. And there was one bill that passed with 49 votes, and we would have been able to defeat that if we would have had every single member on our side of the aisle in their chair. And I am not trying to call anybody out on attendance, because I know that the reason those folks are absent is deaths in the family and serious illness. And, that's just part of life. That sometimes you have to go take care of things that are more important than this. But it definitely had a hand in the game that was played today. I presented a bill to Senate State Admin, and I expect it to pass, so I'll have gotten another bill through both bodies, hopefully. And I made an appointment at 11:30 on Monday to go have my picture taken with the governor when he signs my first bill, House Bill 92, for the Public Defender's Office. In Human Services, we saw a little bit of gamesmanship with the bills that were brought up. I had prepared a lot of questions and done some research on House Bill 102 and was told by the vice chair, we don't need to ask any questions. Everyone's going to vote yes on this. Let's have a short hearing. I took him at his word, and it's been quite a while since we had the hearing. Now today in executive action, it went down on party lines. Every single member on their side voted no, and when I said, hey, you dirty dog, you lied to me, he made it sound like there was a reason for it and kind of used our argument that we had used yesterday about the Eastern Montana funding. He said, we have different plans for this. So I hope that they do. Another bill that passed last session, House Bill 238, that I just talked about the other day as being Ellie Hill's bill that is so good for homeless people, also went down on party lines, and that is a bill that absolutely did pass both the House and the Senate last year. Last session. It did not have a fiscal note, and I really felt like the reason that got voted down was because the sponsor of the bill on the floor today said, hey, you guys were for this bill last session, now you're voting against it, and he was just mad. I might be simplifying things too much, but that's what it seemed like to me. For the first time today, we saw a rebuttal on a fiscal note. So a sponsor of a bill said, I don't agree with that, that's not right, and basically typed up his own thing based on what an ALEC company told him, because that ALEC affiliated company stands to make money off of this contract that the state would be granting to them or a similar company. And that's crazy. It's literally crazy. And I can't do anything but just try to enjoy seeing that. And I talked to you guys earlier about a bill that had been voted down on party lines, and then one of the members realized, oh, wait, that would have really helped my district. And so now he's kind of trying to backtrack and figure out how we can actually get it to go through, even though it has a fiscal note. So he explained to us today that even though he had voted no for it, he would like to vote to untable the bill. So he brings it off the table so that we can still work on it. He would like to put an amendment on the bill, what's called a conceptual amendment that's usually not allowed, that we could then vote on to pass the table, and the amendment would cause a new fiscal note to be generated. The sponsor of the bill could not sign the fiscal note and do a rebuttal of the fiscal note. It would go to the floor, and on the floor we could bring it back to committee. And it's just so bizarre, and I cannot wait to see how this goes through the process. It's a great bill. It should have been just passed in the first time, in the first hearing. So let the games begin. I'm so excited to come back to Butte tomorrow. Have a great weekend.